Question. Many Southwest businesses have complained about the city's code enforcement officers issuing frivolous citations and intimidating businesses to the point of driving them out of business. What do you think should be the priority for enforcing code compliance, and how would you address these concerns from the business community?
I think we need to sit down with the business community and listen to them very closely. I hear complaints from the business community all the time when I go out and do my door-to-door walking, when I meet with businesses. It's not just the code enforcement problem. I'm hearing problems about permit processing, other nightmares that they're having down at the planning department. No offense to the planning staff, but we have some issues. We have issues with fire department and getting fire marshals out in time to approve restaurants. So I think we need to sit down with the business community, have a meeting with some of the top business leaders in this area, determine what their issues are, sit down with staff, have a face-to-face meeting. Let's see if we can fix this. We should not have unhappy business people here. It's tough enough to do business these days, and it's tough enough to do business in Chula Vista. We do not have a good reputation in conducting business development here in Chula Vista, and we need to fix that. And I think if we do, then this will be part of the, I think, solution to our budget problems, because business will want to come here at that point if we're treating them right.
I believe that code enforcement should not be used as a lucrative source of revenue. More education and outreach has to happen to advocate compliance in a reasonable fashion. Code enforcement should not be targeted or used selectively, but should be fair and equitable. And code enforcement can be a wonderful tool, like it is in the mobile home parks. Recently in the budget cuts, the city manager was suggesting that we cut a code enforcement officer that went into mobile home parks to check for safety and code violations. And this was the residents' lifeline to requiring the park owners to fix safety violations that could result in fires. So the code enforcement has its place, but it shouldn't be used selectively, and it shouldn't be used in a way to engineer certain planning results. It shouldn't be used as a source of revenue. It should be fair and equitable.
Okay. I think the priority of code enforcement should be making sure that the city is safe and not looking for petty, harassing issues. I'm not real sure what the petty, harassing issues are, but I definitely believe that that must be going on because this has been a running theme here. And again, we need to do everything we can to support businesses, not run them out of town. So I definitely would want to make that change. I don't think code enforcement's driving around and picking on people. But again, I don't live here, I don't know that. So I would want to hear specifics. But we need to support businesses here, we need to make it easier to get licenses, we need to get folks out here to give permits faster and easier, not slower, and not be obstructionary during that process.
Same question for Steve.
I believe that code enforcement needs to be first and foremost a reactive process. In other words, if you live in a neighborhood and you have a neighbor or somebody down the street that is running an illegal business or has something that is creating a problem for the neighborhood, you call the city. We ought to have the resources to respond to that. And we ought to be looking for compliance before we look for penalties. We ought to be helping people bring their properties into compliance. I think that we should only be proactive in areas where there are health and safety issues, where if a home is about ready to fall down, or there's a fire hazard, or there's an imminent danger to the individuals occupying the property or those around it. So I don't think that we ought to be driving around looking for, for problems and stopping and writing people up just because, we happen to be having a sweep in a certain neighborhood or not. I think that we don't have enough resources as it is now. I'd much rather have code enforcement going into mobile home parks and taking care of violations in terms of electricity and structural problems that could cause danger to the people that live there.
All right, thank you.